Hello and welcome to the second lesson for Serif pageplus X5. In the first lesson we just looked at the overall look of pageplus 5, and what we're going to do today, we're going to look at one particular tool in detail, and that's the text tool. If you're producing business cards, you're producing a flyer, or you might be producing a newsletter, then the likelihood is that within that you're going to have some text. So first of all, we're going to deal with the text. Now if you go across to the left here, we've got a couple of text related icons. First of all, we've got the standard text frame tool, artistic text tool. We're going to choose a standard frame first of all. We've got a drop down arrow here. This gives us an option if we want to produce text in different shapes. Okay. We're just going to choose one that you use most regular, which would be the square one. So we'll click on that, and what you'll see is like a crosshair of lines there. If I left click, just drag it down until I've got the size that I want, and then release. And what you'll see is this text box where you're going to put your text. This is a text box. And as a type, you can use it like any word processor. You can put commas here. It just works the same basically as if you were typing something like Word or an email. And when it gets to the end of this box, so if I'm just going to put P's in for the moment, it will wrap. Now because that's seen as one word, what I'll do is I'll just put space in, space again. Okay, so what it does, it wraps the last word. Now that will depend upon some of your settings, but we'll go into that later on, perhaps in another session. So the text will wrap, and if we select the box, we can select the box here to make it smaller. And you see it wraps within the confines of the box. So if we want to reshape the box, we've got all these options here to reshape it. So initially that's how you'll put in the text. Now at the moment you can see the text is set at Times New Roman at a 12-point size. You've got the options to bold, italic, underline, and you've got these other options as well: strike out, all caps, small caps, those sort of things. Okay, so go back to the text. Open type flyout. I don't use those very often, but it's just available. And let's say you want to change the text. What I would do is, you've got a couple of ways of doing that. I can highlight the text there, choose from my drop down, and what you'll see is some recently used fonts there. In this bit, these are the fonts that you've used most recently. If you're in a document and you've been using a font, you would find that within the top here. And then you've got a list of other fonts, depending on what fonts are loaded on your machine. Okay, and they go from A to Z. Hundreds and hundreds of fonts. So let's choose. I'm going to choose Americana BT. So I select on that, and you see the font has changed. I can change the size, change that to 10, bold it. I'm just going to make this text a bit. I'm going to change the text to 24 so we can see the changes. Okay, so there it is at 24, and bolded. Now, what you might notice is a little issue within pageplus X5, and it was a problem in X4, etc. Sometimes when you put your text in, you might notice that you see this T here. This T seems to overlap the text box. Now the way to deal with that is to get your alignment right. Is what you need to do is, if you right click, go to select the text box, go to Format, choose Paragraph. A little box or window will open up. Okay. Right. This is how you can change the format of your paragraphs, that sort of thing, spacing of your text. Right, if we click on the first one, which is under character spacing, there's an optical justification box here. Now this is by default checked. If you uncheck that, press OK, what you'll see is a T is now moved back in. Now you will find that is a bit of an issue with the pageplus 6.5, but once you know it's there, and you can get around it. Okay, so there we are, we've got the text in the box. Now, like I say, you can resize this box as much as you like to sort yourself out. Okay, so that's the text box. The other thing I'm going to show you is the artistic text tool. If I click on here, this is one main one we'll use, the artistic text tool. So I've clicked on this. What you'll see, there's a cursor there. Again, if I left click and drag, we see an A appear. Now that will drag to whatever size you want. The difference with this is that this artistic text is not within a text box. So if I type, this is a text. This is text, not in a text box. What you'll notice is it will just continue to roll along from left to right. It won't wrap because you haven't got a text box there. It won't wrap. If you wanted to change that, you'd have to press you'd have to press return so that you can bring it down in there. So you wouldn't normally use that if you're writing text. You're better off using the text box. Okay. Another feature you'll notice, what I can do though is, say if I was just writing a title or something like that. Okay, this text box, I can actually make it smaller. And again, if you look at the top there, at the moment it's Times New Roman. So I'm going to change that this time to Arial. And again, you'll notice the T there overlaps the box. Now if it's on one line, it's not really a problem because it's not lined up against the text. But get into the habit of sorting it out. Format, paragraph, spacing, optical justification, and check. Okay, and as you can wrap back into where the box was there. Okay. Right, on the text box, you'll notice there's a little circle at the top here. If I hover my mouse over it, I get like a couple of arrows, one on the top, one on the bottom. And if I click on there, like that, all that will do is just means you can rotate your box. So if you want to make it slightly at an angle, and you can also put your mouse just in the corner, and again it will allow you to do that. And that's the same for the artistic text tool. So if you're doing flying, you want some text going across from an angle, you do that, and again on the corner that'll work. Okay, so that is your text. There's the basic features of the text, and in the next lesson we're going to look at importing and using images. Okay, so what we're going to do anyway is we're just going to file and save this. You can file and save it as you would any other file. File, save as. Choose where you're going to file or save the file, and then you would press save. I'm not going to save this one, but that's just the usual way you would save it. And this is a PPP file. Okay, so in the next lesson, like I say, we're going to look at images. So thanks for listening yet again, and we'll see you in lesson 3.